All right. We'll open a beer.
What are you drinking tonight?
Yep.
What are you drinking on, Jason?
It's Stone Delicious IPA.
I like your style.
We are
No
live.
way,
We are
I
dude.
like your style.
Awesome.
There we go.
We are
It's almost
live.
the same beer.
I know, right? Aria's probably got kombucha
You guys
or
want to see
something.
what I'm drinking?
Fuzzy what?
Fuzzy Rabbit.
A mojito. Is that what they were handing out at Mid-South?
You know it.
I
I thought you
I think
finished
yes,
all those.
I think Jason started seeing these on the podcast because I've been drinking them since we left Mid-South.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Jason, you got a haircut.
I think it cut every one of them.
Man, did you get a beard cut too?
Yeah, I trimmed everything.
Just going super arrow.
Yeah.
You got a race or something?
Got to go fast.
That's right.
It was getting in the way, and I don't know. I went a little too short with the beard.
It always grows
But
back, though.
It does.
It's all good.
Every time I've cut it, it's always grown back.
I mean, knock on wood, it'll keep doing it. I've never heard of anybody going bald in the beard area. Has anybody ever gone bald? Bearded bald? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. Usually, some of the most bald guys have the biggest beards you'll ever find.
That's just that's gravity. That's just gravity.
You know?
It just falls and then comes out this way.
I just don't get it. I'm like, how does that work? You know, but it's before we jump in, guys, before you guys take it away, I'm just gonna get in the way here. I wanted to share the news with all our listeners that we have a sponsor.
Yeah.
They're coming on for the 2025 season. Reland Nutrition. We'll have the link in the description below where you can get your own protein. We have 15% off, guys, for you guys. 15% for our listeners.
It's a whey protein recovery drink. Am I right?
Recovery drink. Yeah.
Nice. What flavors are we working with? We got chocolate there. What other flavors?
We got vanilla. Let's see. Let's see
saw
here.
Chocolate, vanilla, and unflavored is what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. The chocolate is my favorite. It's just I think they did it right. And one of the things that I've been like, there's another protein I used to take, but it just like made my stomach not good after, right? And this stuff, they're doing something right, but it's pretty legit. Let's take a look here. There we go. We got chocolate, plant-based, so that's really nice, and vanilla. The unflavored really is kind of like their vanilla one, and the chocolate. This is what we go for. This is what we go for, Ivan and I. But the big thing about
what's the difference between the green bag?
The green bag is plant-based, plant protein.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're not into the cow stuff,
it's beans. It'll make you fart.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's right. You need that gas. You need the gas to get out. But so we got that, and the chocolate, we like that. It's so well done, and I'm super stoked. These guys are coming on board. They're literally down the street from our house here. So
nice.
Yeah, Iowa City. So it's really nice to be able to partner with.
Oh, really? How new are they? Because I don't remember them.
They, I think I'm not exact. I think the product's fairly new. They started last year, I believe.
Okay,
I could be wrong. But maybe they launched late last year. But yeah. But they, right here, like we used to ride by there. Do you know, by the Iowa City airport, those big grain silos at the end there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there in that corner. That's that's where they're at.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do we have some super cool, funny, awesome code?
Yes. Yeah, we'll have a code. We'll have some kind of code, and I'll put it in the show notes on the podcast. and on the YouTube here before we're done for the day.
Super cool.
Yeah. So what's new, guys?
What's new? A couple
there's-
good races.
There's a big list of new stuff in the notes. I saw that.
Yeah, I got a little crazy on the notes. I got bored at work the other day, so I figured I'd just start dropping things like stream of consciousness.
Nice. I worked too much this week, so I didn't.
Did you work too much to watch any of the big races? It's spring season, cobble season.
I caught highlights of some things. That one you had talked about, the Neilson Powless, the Dwarvladender.
I mean, you nailed it. What is it, Dwarvladeren or something?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad too.
I'll try.
Man, the American hero, Neilson Powless, 3-on-1, and he out sprints them. I thought that race was over.
It was great because he was in that breakaway with them, and he did his work on the front, and he just kind of drifted back. And if you didn't see it, it was like coming up to the line.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, they're a kilometer out, and then he just like dips over to this side of the road and just takes off.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I honestly, I was watching the race and I saw like 30K to go, and there's 3-on-1 with Wout van Aert as one of them, and I'm like, okay, well, this race is over, like no doubt.
Well, yeah, who was the other guy? It was Wout.
Yeah, it was. I think it's Tish Benut, Wout van Aert, and then Matteo Jorgensen. I mean, he's been so strong, but I mean, I think looking at the interviews, what they said, Wout took full responsibility. He was like, I've got a lot of pressure on my shoulders. I needed to get a win under my belt. And I said I was going to beat him in the sprint, which 9 times out of 10, Wout dusts Neilson Powless. But I don't know.
Well, he caught him out.
Right. Well, the other thing I was thinking too, I don't think they executed very well in the last 2Ks to go. They just kind of let him ride on. I know Wout tried to drop back for a second, and then they didn't try it again. So I'm like, you got 3 guys, and I get it that we're all riding for Wout, but I'm like, the execution was not right. But also being that he crushed that race last year, that maybe there's some mental gymnastics that was kind of holding him back, right? So it's hard to tell. But yeah, I was watching that too, Graham. I thought I'm like 3-on-1. One of them is going to drop back and they're going to close the gap, but they never did it.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I mean, it's so cool to see that. I think American cycling, while we don't have a strong road scene here in the States, somehow we keep churning out really amazing talent. I mean, Quinn Simmons got his first World Tour win. You got Matteo winning stage races left and right. Talking about, leading Jumbo at this point, and then Nielsen comes out and wins Drawers Door. So super cool. I thought, it's super fun to see an American team doing well.
A good program there in Colorado. I think.
Is that what was that in Colorado? Is it what's the school there? That there's a really good road scene there.
Is it Hincapie's? I thought Hincapie was involved with
Fort Lewis. I think Fort Lewis puts out some pretty strong riders. It's down in Southwest Colorado, if I remember correctly. But man, those kids just live, breathe altitude. No wonder they're doing well when they come over. But really, really cool.
Yeah, that's the school I've heard about. Looks like a lot of really strong riders have come out of there and going to do really well. Mountain biking.
It's interesting though. It's interesting. Sorry, but we have such strong. We clearly can put out strong road riders, but there's no road scene here in the States as far as that. And then we have the Lifetime Grand Prix, which is drawing, if I had to guess, the majority of American riders that way. It makes me kind of wonder: is this the last great gasp for U.S. road cycling, and then everybody's going to go gravel and off road?
Well, we're going to have a guest soon, Hannah Shell.
Mm-hmm.
So I was checking. She was a crit rider.
Yeah.
crit rider for, and I think that's how she really got going, was crit racing. So the crit scene, I think, is still there. I know
It's
Pittsburgh.
still there.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has an oval crit. And they do a weekly race, and I don't know, it's like just a little under half a mile, like third of a mile oval. I've never been to it. I've always wanted to try and check it out, but it's it's like one lane, like 20 feet wide or something, and it's grass on all sides, I think. And you just,
so you can crash out comfortably.
you just do laps, but from what I hear, you gotta you're just not allowed to get in. You gotta have, they gotta check and see if you know how to ride a bike before you one of these crits.
That's my thing. I really like my collarbones a lot. And the crit scene, I don't know.
I know, right?
I did one crit. That was the only road race I've ever done. It's the Iowa City.
Yeah, old cap.
Old cap, yeah.
Yeah.
And Timperley talked me. Derek talked me into doing it, and I did Cat 3. And I don't know. I was the oldest guy in Cat 3, I think.
Did you win?
10 years. Hell no. I got dropped in 2 laps. There's 13-year-olds just dusting me. Yeah.
Because crit power is different, right? Crit power is those guys train to only go hard for at the most 50 minutes, Yeah.
So it's like cyclocross,
Yeah.
I'm better at cyclocross because there's mud involved.
Yeah.
When I do a cyclocross race, I hope it rains. I hope it's muddy.
Obstacles and stuff, a little mountain biking skill required.
Yeah. I'll do the cyclocross any day. It's those crits. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying a road race.
Yeah. The problem is that they're just I feel like it's so hard to get counties together to kind of, organize and provide security at intersections and things like that road races are just difficult. I mean, that's why, the Tour of Colorado or Tour of Utah, Tour of Georgia, all of those races are gone. But I've heard word that there is discussion around a U.S. Grand Tour in the next 10 years. There are some investors that are interested in doing that. I don't know where it is or anything, but man, how cool would it be to watch them, start in Iowa City and, work their way into the mountains somewhere or something along those lines. It'd be pretty cool.
It's just so disappointing that we, that it's that much harder to even grant permits for a day, right? Especially if it's pro racers, they're going to be riding all day. They're going to come to your town for maybe at the most half an hour, and they're gone. I just don't understand why we have such a hard time getting that. And I think until we kind of figure that road piece out and the motorists sharing the road with us, and it's going to be hard for American road racing, I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you make a good point. I was watching, I don't know if you guys watched the races today, Flanders, men and women, which we don't have to get into it if some people haven't watched it, but at least the men's race was one of the most spectacular classics I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Deep levels, talent, just war of attrition. Winner deserved it. And then the women's race, unfortunately, the favorite crashed out, but still a strong race that was fun to watch. But man, my point being though is, you look at all these little towns that they, ride around in Flanders, a region of Belgium, and every little town has their own little VIP tent set up, a little party going on. And you got to know the tourism. It's huge there. I mean, people are packed 8 deep on the barriers, so I wish that, I think you would get that here in the States. You see it at criteriums, even when they do them in little small towns, people still come out and you can make a festival around it, but just not a whole lot of incentive, I suppose.
Well, and you've seen the towns that have embraced it, right? Emporia, Stillwater.
Yeah. Leadville.
Those guys,
Leadville.
Leadville.
Think about
Leadville.
Leadville. Dead town until that,
They've embraced these outdoor activities, runners, bikers, that I think, I just don't understand I get it. Not everybody cares about tourism and stuff, but I'm like, if it's bringing in some revenue for your whole city, right? You're going to be impacted somehow, right? But I don't know.
I feel like the infrastructure has a lot to do with it over there. The roads are small. They've got highway systems and train systems where people want to mass transit. They don't ride these back roads. They don't drive on these back roads where these races take place. Whereas here, there's cars on all these back roads.
Yeah.
That's why I think gravel was so good, because nobody drives on gravel unless you got someplace to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, you just have to live on that road to be out there, or a farmer. Whereas here, any paved road, there's cars. Paved road. Like that brings me to the point. Gravel Worlds put out a post the other day. In Nebraska, the real Gravel Worlds in my books, that the 75-miler, the 150-mile course has less than 25 stop signs for the whole course.
And they've closed the last few miles and the start of the last few miles to traffic completely, right?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
And those guys have been taking fit. I think they're not getting enough credit on some of the stuff they're doing. They really are taking, because they do a survey. I was talking to Jason a couple of years ago of Gravel Worlds. Not you, Jason, the other Jason. And he was saying that, they do a survey
There
at
is
the end
no other Jason.
of the race.
I'm the only one.
You're the only one. But he was saying that they do a survey, after the race, and hey, what did you like? What can we change? And they act on those points that people raise. If they didn't like something, or if they liked something, they kind of double down on that. And this safety thing was one of the things that people have been complaining about, the busy roads, and they've addressed that. And also huge party at the end of the. They're coming from Mid-South, big burst, so it's coming up. So
yeah, I think the gravel. Going ahead.
Believe it or not,
I want to go back.
Believe it or not, I don't usually stop at those stop signs.
It's fair.
Guys, don't listen to Jason.
I think you do. You must.
I think it's cool though, because even John Borstelman last year, he called out the fact that he basically bailed on that race after he bailed out of the front group for the most part, because people were riding on the left side of the gravel road as you're cresting those hills, and you guys know. When you're riding out there on the gravel, there are those steep pinches of 0.1, 0.2 miles at 12%, and you're coming over the top of those, and who knows if someone's going to come flying over on their truck. And I get the fear, it's real. It's real.
That's just because you have to imagine, you have to really imagine that there's other people that live on these country roads.
Yep.
And you come that's a very good point. I think I saw somebody's video of the gravel roads, and the pro dudes were just on the left side on up a hill. I'm like, man, a truck comes down there, some kids drinking their beers, everybody's dead. What a bad thing for the sport. So
but good. I think the theme is that it seems like the gravel scene, I'll make another point here, but both in the Lifetime side and the UCI side, they're open to feedback, and they're doing their best to change things, right? Which is kind of cool. Another point I thought was interesting was, I don't know if you guys saw the post, Lifetime kind of slipped it in there about not being able to draft outside your category for next year. Yeah. I don't know if it's official or if it's just a talk, but I think it's interesting because, it's riders like Sophia, super, super strong riders, but because she's so strong, she was able to kind of hop onto the back of some of the pro men riders and ride that draft. And so I think, they've done the separate men's and women's starts, but even still packs are going to mix. And I think, making it separate is an interesting approach. I don't know how well that works on some of these tight courses and with single track and things like that, but still an interesting prospect. I don't know what you guys think.
When those pros are just drafting me and not pulling through.
I know, it's so annoying, right?
Come on, do some work.
I know.
Well, I'm not doing the old.
I'm not here to be your draft mule here.
Those guys are fast. I remember when I was in Idaho, Boston. I was I did the 50 mile and there I did that in the 100, and he caught me with 10 miles to go downhill. And it's as a regular rider, you're like, okay, man, maybe on a good day I can hang with these guys for a little bit. I think now that I have better mountain biking skills, I think I could stay on his wheel like downhill. But the guy passed me, like I could stay for a little bit. I think I could stay for a little bit. I think so. Boston, like I could see Boston's fast, but he's not like descending like the other.
Borselman's not the best bike handler in the world.
Yeah. But I think like the speed that he was going, I'm like, if I was more confident with my skills back then, I think I could have lasted at least a mile. At least.
I agree.
A mile.
Like downhill,
a mile.
A mile.
Yeah.
Someone put it on the board. I want to.
I'm going back, and you're gonna see this. I'm gonna wait.
Let's add.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my descending skills are crazy.
I would maybe put a decimal point in front of that one.
A point 1 mile. Yeah.
I think I'll say a mile. If it's Boston man, like the way he was right, like I could see some of the other guys that are mountain bikers that are like they're taking like chances with their life. I think Boston man, I think I could hang for at least a mile before.
Listen, it's a Sunday. It's been a long day. I think you're totally right. Or yeah, you could probably 2 miles, maybe 3.
Anyway, the moral of the story, like those guys are fast. Like when I was like, okay, you know what? Let me jump on, because like on the flats I've been able, like I have evidence of some videos of hanging in the group for a little while. But I remember just getting behind the guy, and I'm like, these guys, like they get paid to put their life on the line.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not riding like this. Like it was just crazy. It was just too dangerous. I think most people might, like if you're really skilled descender, you might be able to, but thinking that, okay, maybe I don't get paid to do this, like is what's going to reel you back in and be like, no, these guys have a different mindset. Broken bones, collarbones don't matter. They can take more chances than you can in a corner, because they're like, well, wash out, the sponsor's going to pay for it. But you and I are like, man, I got the kids to take care of. I got chores to do at home. I can't put a collarbone here. So,
yeah, that's true. Speaking of downhills, so if you could hang with John Borstelman for, what was it, 5 miles? I don't remember what he said. But,
I said a mile.
Oh, a mile. Sorry, a mile.
Yeah.
So since we're on just that theme, so Tennessee Nationals is at Windrock.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
How does Aria place at Windrock if he throws himself into the shark pool at over there?
So was
Tennessee Nationals?
Is he going down the mountain in the dry like they practice in, or is he gonna go down the mountain in the mud that they ended up racing in?
I feel like that's typical of that place, man. It's always like, it's gonna be so nice, and then it turns into a slop fest. I don't know. You might be better suited in the mud, because then you come off the bike, you just kind of tuck a little bit, and you can glissade the rest of the way down.
Yeah. On the last tabletop, you can just
right over the Red Bull jump. You could do it. That was pretty wild. I don't know if you guys watched that winning run, but those guys, that's a whole nother level of, I don't know. There's something wired incorrectly up here.
Well, that's a young man's sport there. There's not a lot of older guys out there doing that, I don't think. I mean, that's like, I think those are all like teenagers and early 20s.
They bounce.
Yeah. Dude, it was, I've never been to Windrock. I've got some friends at the bike shop here that go down, and I think some of the guys were down there racing. They're not pro level, but I think they went down. And yeah. Did you catch any of that, Aria? It's not stuff.
No, a little bit. No, I need to find my video or hanging out Unbound. When I did Unbound, in 2020, Sagan was there. The 100 milers caught me. I rode with those guys for miles, by the way. So I need to find that. Next week's podcast, I'll bring that. Yeah.
Proof. Yeah, we'll see it.
Yeah,
we'll see
I actually have proof of that on the video somewhere. So I'll bring that. Yeah, because I didn't know it was even Sagan in there, but the guy that was the domestic for Sagan was there, and he was in the back riding. And I asked him like, he's like, yeah, Sagan's here. He's like, I'm riding for him and stuff. And we were all with them for a while until the hill came up. But on the front, I was in the back of the group, but I was staying there. Obviously, I'm sure they were not going, rest space, because I don't think Sagan even won that. I think he flatted out or something like that. So, but I need to find the video.
Find the video. We'll bring it up for proof, and then I'll
week.
believe you. Then I'll believe you.
That's why I always
sure.
take my camera with me, because I have proof.
Yeah, so it was a French guy that won the Windrock.
Yeah, his video is up on his POV is up on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah,
it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then
you know what looks like fun is the those mega avalanche races.
Oh yes,
that looks like fun.
If I had a bike to trash, I would do that race in a heartbeat.
But that also goes to me again to my point of like how fast you want to go and how many chances are you willing to take.
Yeah, well, in the snow, I mean, like I guess if you had transmission on there, even if you go down on the right side, you're fine. But I mean, on the snow, those dudes get going crazy 40, 50 miles an hour and try to turn, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then the pileups are like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
The pileups are just, I'm like,
that is what we should do. Forget Sea Otter. Let's go do a mega avalanche. And let's have a podcast competition to see who can make it down the fastest in one piece.
No, man.
Oh.
Maybe if I won a lot and I knew I didn't have to worry about working again, maybe then I'll take the chance. That speed is crazy. That speed is insane. I mean, those guys are like trying to corner with one leg going like 40 miles an hour. It's just
it's all snow. Snow
is soft. Yeah, it's soft. You slide, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Would you rather? All right, Aria, let me ask though. Do you think you would be safer doing the Tennessee National Windrock course or a mega avalanche race?
Mega avalanche, probably.
I agree.
That's
the right answer.
I think mega, at least with the snow, you can bounce off a little bit here and there.
Well, I don't know. The Windrock course in the dry,
would
be doable. I think.
I'm trying to see if I should.
Of course, the Windrock, the camera angles you get, it's a lot steeper than what it looks.
It does not do it any justice at all. It's scary.
Yeah,
it's scary out there.
But then, they're on 170 mil travel bikes. I mean, they've got a ton of travel. They've got dropper posts, big wide bars, and good brakes.
Dude, you could do this. Just get a fat bike.
That's what I was wondering, why they're not riding fat bikes.
Dude.
And you know the GoPro effect, right? The GoPro effect is just crazy, right?
I mean, look at the speed. 80, 90K an hour.
Like 60 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, on snow.
Like 50 miles an hour. Like, that's insane.
I think you should take it back. I think you'd be safer on the Windrock course, not that. You're like a projectile going down the mountain.
I'll be the first guy to take 3 hours to get down the mountain.
The scenic route.
Because I'll be on those brakes the whole time.
You probably need to take a second set of pads. Like, you go halfway down, like swap your pads out.
I wonder if those guys are riding fat bikes down that. Every time I've seen it, it seems like it's always mountain bikes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, because it does, like, once you get off the snow, it turns to single track. But honestly, though, like, I did that Lake McBride Fat Tire Classic, I think 2 years ago, and there was no snow. So I rode it on a fat bike. So it was like mountain biking. That was some of the most fun mountain biking I'd ever had. I mean, you run your pressure ride on those fat tire bikes, you can whip them right around. It's so great. Yeah.
That was a good race. I never did have good success with that. I was either sick or I had the mechanical, and but it was really well done. Like you're right. Once you got in a single track, if you had the right PSI, 10 PSI on those tires, you cruising through no problems.
I did that 2 times.
Yeah, I think you did. I think we did it the 2 times that you did it. I did it. Yvonne did it.
Jacob did it 1 year.
Yeah.
I think 1 year I got 11th.
Man,
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 11th. I don't think
because there's some fast guys there doing that thing.
Yeah.
And girls too. Yeah, there's some fast guys and girls doing it. So kudos to you, man. Although I listened to Nate one day, or the second time I did it, he's like, "Oh, you just need 5 psi." So I was like, "What?" I'm like, "That sounds low, man." And so I put 5 psi in there, like maybe a mile in. I'm like bouncing all over the place. I had to stop. It was unwritable. I needed like at least like 12 psi to be able to be comfortable. It was insane. So that's the last time I ever listened to anybody about my PSI suggestions.
Yeah, don't.
I just do all squeeze tests and then move on.
That's awesome.
So, what else you guys want to talk about?
Well, I kind of like, all right, so I've lived in the Midwest from the Southeast, right? Back in the Southeast. Kind of excited about the fact that Anniston, Alabama, the Coldwater Trail is a Leadville qualifier down here in the Southeast in Alabama, which I think that's kind of cool because it's been a little bit of, I mean, at least for some riders here on the East Coast, it's a little cost prohibitive to try and qualify for Leadville, right? There aren't that many options that you don't have to travel a long way for. So seeing that race in October, the Coldwater Trail, I think Anniston is really, I mean, they've done a lot, I think, around the cycling community to try and build up, the draw for tourism there. I mean, they had the Sunny King Criterium that happened last night, actually. So like a pro crit, that was last night. And then they've got this lifetime Grand Prix qualifier, which I think will draw a lot of people in a pretty cool trail system down there. So
what kind of race? It's a mountain bike?
Mountain bike. Yeah, mountain bike. Kind of like marathon mountain bike.
What kind of distance? I couldn't find much on it.
Yeah, it's
I didn't look super.
Trail Fox has something about it. Well, I was trying to see if I could find their website or something. Where they based out of? Anderson?
Anniston.
Yeah.
Alabama. What's the distance?
I think it's 100 miles. Let me see.
Woo!
Yeah. I always wanted to do that. Was it the Iceman Cometh up there in Michigan?
Yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah. I definitely want to do that one day. That looks like a good time.
Yeah. Depending on the weather.
Yeah. Where is their website? I can't find their website.
I didn't see
I've
much.
got it. I don't know if they have a website. I guess it's through Lifetime, but I can tell you the details. They got a 50K and 100K mountain bike course, a mix of fast flow, technical rock gardens, classic single track, and then they got a 15K and a 50K trail run. So Yvonne, let's check that box right there. I don't know if you're listening, Yvonne, but a reason for you and Aria to come down here to the Southeast and
dude, we're gonna come
do
down
some
there
bikes.
Whether with reason or not, we're coming to visit you.
Yeah, come on down. I need a
Everything on
babysitter. I need a babysitter so I can go ride. So please come on down so I can go ride my bike a little bit more.
I'm bringing my bike too, so
We'll talk about it. It's up for negotiation, but yeah. So I think I'm not big in the Lifetime thing, and I'm definitely not trying to qualify for Leadville because Leadville seems like a miserable race. But I do think it's cool.
I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, I'm not about it. But
okay, so this is pretty decent. 15K run, 50K run, MTB, and under $150 anymore is a pretty decent deal for.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
How much is it?
115.
Dude, that for a lifetime qualifier.
Yeah.
Come on, that's not bad.
Yeah, for a lifetime, those things are going north of 250 now.
Yeah, for sure.
See, this is pretty good and have live music, local vendors. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ride a bike, you better have a good job.
Yeah, no doubt. We're working a bike shop. For the discounts.
No. I think you gotta rephrase that. If you're gonna get into biking, you gotta have a good job. I think you could get into biking. You can ride bikes without, but if you're really gonna geek out like we do, you better get ready to do some overtime. Otherwise, you're gonna just be looking at those bikes lovingly, and they'll never make it to your garage.
It's all good.
Jason,
I don't know, Jason. I don't know about you guys, but at my shop we offer spouse receipts. You guys offer spouse receipts?
You know? Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, man. I take like 60% off the total price, and I reprint the receipt so that way when they take it to their spouse, no problems. Like
we had a guy come in
honey, it's not that expensive.
and
That's a service.
he was like, "Where's Ashley?" And we're like, "Oh, she's not here." The owner of the shop. He's like, "Man, I got to deal with her. So just so you know, I'm bringing her cash, and she's putting the money aside so that when I get the new bike, the wife doesn't see how much I spent on it."
It's a
You
thing.
see the problem? You can't hide the bike though, you know? So yeah.
Hey, speaking of bike shops, so there's a Instagram group in Pennsylvania called the Pennsylvania Dirtbags. All right, and they're just a group,
I've
and
seen those guys on YouTube.
they do a couple of routes and stuff. And they started up a few weeks ago a best bike shop in Pennsylvania, and Flat Tire Company's made it to like the quarterfinals. I think we're up against.
Oh, go vote.
One
How do you
other.
vote?
It's on Instagram. You just Pennsylvania Dirtbags, and it'll pop up best bike shop in Pennsylvania, and I think we're down to the quarterfinals. We might be moving on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw it a few weeks ago. They just kind of posted something. What's the best bike shop in Pennsylvania? And I right away responded Flat Tire Company in Greensburg. Apparently, the guys I work with said it sparked something. They've got a lot of stuff about Flat Tire Company. And the next thing you know, they're coming up with this. I don't know. Coming up with this big. They got a big March Madness, bracket system with all these bike shops, and we were up against the Bike Roost. I believe they were up in State College. And then last I saw, we were up against Keystone, something or other bike shop. I forget what it was.
Keystone Pipeline?
Yeah, the Keystone Pipeline bike shop.
Yep.
The XL.
That's Graham, the sponsor receipt thing. So I saw a reel on Instagram, I think a while back, maybe last year, and the guy was making a reel like, he's like, hey, we offer sponsor receipt to, you just bought a new mountain bike and all decked out with everything, transmission. And the guy's like, yeah, we'll take 60% off right off the top,
Right there. Listen, that's the value. That's the value of a good shop right there. You got to have a shop that's on your side and willing to cover your bases.
Oh, no. We are 30 votes behind Keystone Bicycle Company.
Man, you guys got bit.
We must have at least 30 people that listen to this podcast. So come on, people. Let's.
Go vote.
I don't think it's over yet.
What's the link, Jason? I'll put it in the chat.
Pennsylvania.dirtbags on Instagram.
Put the link in the chat, and then I'll copy it.
Oh my God! How you want me to do this? Put the link in the chat.
Tech.
That's how I guarantee I don't do anything for Jason. Like, put it in the chat. Can't do it.
I sent it to you on InstaFace.
Okay, there you go. That will work. Jason, did you get your new bike?
Nope.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Where is it?
So it's EP from Santa Cruz, so it'll get here.
You want me to sell you my Top Fuel? No.
Thank you, though.
All right. It's fast.
It's the weather out here is pretty crappy. I even if I had it, I wouldn't have been riding it. I'm not going to go out and slop up a brand new bike.
Yeah. Did you guys get a lot of rain? We got crushed with rain.
It's been raining for like 3 days.
Yikes.
First day of fishing season yesterday too, and I can't believe there were people actually fishing, and it's just all mud. Rivers up like.
I don't think they care if they catch fish. I think they're just trying to get out there. They're like, yeah, honey, it's a perfect day to go fish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he's just trying to get out of the house.
Yeah. The worst day of fishing is still better than the best day at work.
That's right.
That is fact. I'll say that to myself if I'm like riding out there and the conditions are bad. I'm like, I'd rather be doing this, like slugging through the headwind, than being in front of my computer doing work.
True.
Like I'd rather be doing that.
So,
yeah,
what do you think, Aria? Is 2x done for? Is it all going to be 1x now?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of folks like you, Jason, that still love that 2x.
I don't think it's done for. I think it's definitely the 1x is definitely good in those races.
Those cobbled races.
Yeah. And I think you're gonna start seeing a lot of it, like Graham said. I think to me, it just only takes a few outliers, right? And everybody starts doing it for that one race, and then you realize, oh, okay, maybe this is the right bike for me. For most of these climbing races and stuff. So, well, I don't know.
The problem is the gear spacing.
The chain efficiency is really bad on tram. That's the thing.
Chain efficiency and gear spacing is a little bit. You want to try and keep a 90 cadence or something, and you jump one cog up and it drops you from a 90 to 75. that hurts. Or if you go from you jump down and you go from 90 to 110. That's not good either. So,
but if he's running, so I guess for the listeners, we're kind of talking about Mads Pedersen and Lidl Trek. So they ran the Explorer group set on their Trek Madones for the cobbled classic or the cobbled races so far. Mads ran it today in Tour of Flanders. So he's running, I think, some ridiculous 50 tooth chainring up front, and then he's got the 1052 in the back. So is that what it is, or 1046? I don't even know.
Oh, it was a 50 something in the back. Yeah,
it's whatever. It's whatever. Honestly, I think it's very similar to either the GX group set or maybe a little bit smaller than that. Yeah. But what do they run, Aria? Tell us why. Stop.
That's why they run 1x. Mike, look at that.
I told you.
Chain ring.
That's a big boy chain ring.
They were doing 54, 56 in the front too.
I might not be able to even get pedaling that thing. That's a good looking bike though. Let's see what would.
So, kind of what they were getting at was that climbing hills and changing gears, if you're going up and down hills in quick succession.
1046.
1046. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little. There's a little bit of a lag between shifting gears.
So it's true. Yeah.
There's a little bit of a lag, but it also they also said, well, it can lag while you're dropping from the big train to the little chain ring in the front, to make sure that you didn't drop it off, one way or the other.
I mean, that's the thing is if I look at what are the possible scenarios in which things go wrong.
Yeah.
And if I'm cranking up a hill and I get to the point where I need to be in my little ring, I mean, moving a chain from one ring to another is far more dangerous than the lag, or I guess the consequence of the lag that you feel, which I don't know how the Explorer group set works, but the transmission group set as a whole, it does shift slower, but in consequence, you can crank on it the whole time.
Yeah.
So sprinting, in these cobbled races in which they're altering their cadence and maybe going from, these guys probably 300 watts to 600 watts, in a couple of pedal strokes. I do think that there's a benefit there, and I'm curious because you've seen even Jonas in the Tour and Roglic in the Tour and in the Grand Tours, they run 1x's on some of the climbing stages and things like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious.
No, I think it's definitely like you say, Graham. I think the possibility of dropping that chain going from your big ring to the low one is way higher than the milliseconds you're going to lose shifting, from one cog to another in the back. So it definitely makes sense. But so that looks like he was just running. Man, I can't even start to wrap my mind around this kind of gearing.
I know.
That's a sweet bike.
Only on flats.
Uphill. Aria, I actually have been considering maybe a new gravel bike next year and go by.
See, it's over. I take it back, Graham. The question, I think it's over.
It's over. Yeah, we got Jason. He hasn't even gotten his new mountain bike yet. And he's like, all right, hey, all right, I got to get one by on the.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
if Jason says it's switching, that's it.
My road bike is 2x,
Yeah.
and I did this GRX group set, and I thought I'm going to do 2x because my cross bike was 2x, and I thought, well, I'll just try this out. I figured that it might work, and last weekend up at camp, I rode my my ECR, and it's a 1x, and I really liked it up there.
Yeah.
I did feel like, that the limitations on my bike is the chainring size in the front. I can't get bigger than like a 34 on that bike.
Yikes.
Ooh.
So you're spun out at like 22 miles an hour then.
Yeah,
Seriously.
It's mainly for bike packing, really.
Sure.
So, if you got loaded down with bags, that's good gear range. I maybe could fit a bigger chainring on there, but I'd have to do some spacing on the bottom bracket.
That's a small drivetrain.
I think it's a 34. Yeah. I remember maybe it's a 36. I can't remember now.
Some of us are big boys running 42s.
I know. I wish I had. I wish I had at least like a 40 or 42 on there. I think that bike would be. Oh, that bike would be pretty dope if I could do that.
I think the only time I've been envious of a 2x Steamboat. Steamboat, is champagne gravel, and those guys, man, like there's a lot of sections where you're climbing, which is perfect for 2x. You got plenty of range, but then you get a lot of flat also, and they just live in the dust. If you're riding anything under 40, you're not going to be able to stay with any of the guys that are riding in 2x and the girls. They just going to leave you behind. So that's the only time I'm like, oh man, I would love a nice double chainring here and stay with these guys. So I definitely see, but it's only once a year.
I had a good friend down in North Carolina that was he was a road guy with us, but he was a triathlon guy, and he was on a 1x, like a 46 tooth 1x on the road.
Jesus.
So I think the real answer is we all should go 1x, but we all should get stronger so that way we can just ride these big chain rings.
Yeah,
we're just not strong enough. Like yeah.
That's I think you nailed it. Like I think I would love to have to be able to maintain 26 miles an hour on the flats and stuff in the group, but you got to be able to push that gear for miles.
Yeah,
and
Well, Mads did it for like 280K today, so if he can do it, then shoot, we can do it for sure.
It's all he's probably eating real nutrition.
He's got his nutrition.
That's where I want it. He's got a sponsor like we do,
He's probably doing that new Zwift thing where you see Zwift. So I know there's some crank discussions here with Zwift, but also Zwift's doing outside rides that count now and a training plan. They're like trying to be like Trainer Road Kmart. It's my opinion. That's kind of how I feel about it.
So I saw that. I was gonna I meant to put that on there. But what are your thoughts? Are they just kind of trying to stay relevant, or
I know what I think it is? I was thinking about this because I think they're probably almost like a seasonal tourism business.
Yes.
Right. They're getting tons of subscriptions in the winter, and then they're falling off, in the spring and summer. So I think what the thought is that if they can keep, retain their customers a little bit more by saying okay, well, we're going to house your data, monitor your fitness, we'll integrate all your rides in. So that way, when you come back to us, it's all there. It's just a way to kind of to smooth that curve a little bit. I mean, Ruby is doing the same thing. They're allowing you to pause your membership, ride 20K a month, and you could pause your membership for 3 months. So that way it kind of keeps people coming back, I think.
So do you do Ruby or do you do Zwift?
I think the trainer is the devil.
Okay.
And if I want to ride bad enough, I'm going to put on the right gear and I'm going to go ride outside.
Okay.
Because how cold does it get over there in Tennessee? Where you are?
I mean, it gets cold. 20s, maybe, teens sometimes. But like you adapt, right? Like I was a hard man up there in Iowa. Like we'd go riding 30 degrees and be like, oh, what a great day. It's sunny. The wind's only 30 miles an hour out of the west. We're fine. Let's go ride. Here, it's like if it's not above 50, I'm a little soft.
Yeah,
I guess. But the weather's pretty nice.
So, Aria, you're just on. You were doing Trainer Road for a while. Are you still Trainer Road?
Yeah, no, I left him. Grab before we jump.
Bro, this guy Taylor.
You put EPO in your beer, man.
Huh?
Somebody said you put EPO in your beer.
I do.
Somebody here on the live chat.
Yeah, I know. Some troll.
What's up, Zoran? Zoran's on there. You guys remember Zoran?
Hey, Zoran. I remember him.
Yeah, Zoran was the reason I decided, talking about upgrading chain rings. Like I had my cutthroat and I went on this ride with the guys out there in the Quad Cities. And we did this like headwind ride out. Like it was awful, terrible winds. And then we turned into the tailwind section. And I had this little like 36 tooth chain ring on there. These dudes just left me in the dust. And I rode by myself for like 10 miles. And after that, I was like, I went to the shop the next day and I ripped off my chain ring and put on a 40 tooth. And I was like, all right, never again. Is this ever happening? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how you just be having a good time on the bike in a group and then you drop out and man, it's like an island, man.
Listen, Aria, you really learn to cope with it. Like once you do it enough, like you just learn that's your place in the world. And I'm good there. I'm good there. So I know my place.
Learn to watch those wheels just fade into the sunset.
It's a beautiful sight if you think about it the right way.
That's true. Luckily, Jason would wait for me. He knew when I was cramping and he would fall back and help me, push me up some of them hills.
I've done that before. Yeah. Some of those 4th of July rides that we're doing is like upwards of over 100 degrees. We're dying out there. Yeah, some of the road rides in North Carolina, I'd start out at it's like 90 degrees with 90% humidity. It's
another day in Tennessee. We're good.
Sweat.
So Graham, are you gonna you just do you then change your riding time like early in the morning, late in the evening, or you just tough it out and just go do what you gotta do?
Dude, I got kids. Like I ride whenever there is available time.
Whatever.
So, whatever's available. And honestly, though, it's just like riding in Iowa. You get used to it, right? Like you get heat adapted, and maybe spend some time in the sauna if I had a sauna. But no, it's not that bad. The big difference about riding here in the Southeast, and it's probably true where you ride too, Jason. Like Iowa is like the desert, and with these little oases of Casey's, and that's about the only thing that you have.
Yeah.
Where I ride down here, there is a church every half mile, even out in the boonies, and most churches have water spigots.
Yep.
And you can fill your water anywhere. And like some of the churches around here in Tennessee, like especially in North Georgia, they'll put out water and Gatorade for riders on the steps. Because it's a really popular route, so they leave out stuff for riders and stuff like that. Nice. So it's pretty cool. So it's you could go out with much less of a plan and still be sustained. Whereas I felt like there were chances I was going to die if I went out in Iowa at the wrong time.
Yeah. Because you get on those cornfield roads. There's no trees whatsoever.
No trees. Yeah. No trees. That's not okay. That's not okay. Like. Give me one of those brim helmet.
One of those brim.
Yeah.
Brim. I need one of those.
So Graham, I did rollers for forever.
Oh, really?
Bicycle rollers. That's all I rode was rollers forever.
Yeah. Did you ever fall down?
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been riding rollers for 10, 15 years, maybe 15 years. And I do just interval spin, high cadence stuff all the time. There were a couple of videos. There were these guys down in Australia that would make these videos, and you just follow along with the video, and it'd be on, and it'd be a minute on, hard as you can, minute off, minute on, minute off for hour, 2 hours, whatever you want to go for. And then I didn't want to do Zwift because I thought the Zwift was just too video game is what I kind of so I decided to do full gas.
Mm.
And I liked full gas. We bought ourselves a Wahoo kicker, and Lindsay and I started doing full gas because it was all crowdsourced, I think. So anybody could go do a video of a ride and then post it on full gas, and you just do this ride. And I really like that. And then full gas was just bought by Ruby. And so we switched over to Ruby. And I like Ruby a little bit better because you get to see your avatar, and you got a couple of people that you can ride with, and you see other people, on these rides, which is nice. So yeah, I like the Ruby.
No,
I
was never a Zwifter.
Yeah, I guess I just don't have any goals or reason enough right now to justify spending time on the trainer.
Yeah.
But I do understand the necessity of it. And when I did like Ironman or like half Ironman, like I did a lot of trainer work, but I mean, that's a whole nother story. So,
I mean, when the weather,
save that for later.
well, I mean, when it's like raining,
Yeah,
I don't want to go out and trash my bike
that's the thing. Yeah.
in rain. So I'll jump on the trainer. And unfortunately, I haven't been riding at all lately because
Me too.
I moved my trainer out of the basement, and we're still waiting to not this Wednesday, following Wednesday is the new house. So
Nice.
I'm gonna
You look like you're really packed up and ready to go.
this is all my dad's shit.
I thought you wanted to keep, I really thought you were gonna stay in your dad's house. It's gonna be like, here you have it. There's no bedroom for me, so yeah, that's no bueno. Graham's got a bedroom for me at his house, so we're good. Right, Graham, right.
Oh, you
Not
could share
garage,
with
right?
that little gremlin 2.5-year-old. She's a great
man.
roommate. Yeah. She'll
Pray
sing
get up right at
songs.
5 a.m. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
No, dude, that girl sleeps. Little one, the older one sleeps. The little one, not so much, but the older one, she sleeps. She takes after me.
So Garmin has subscriptions now? Is that
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know you guys take. The internet has been on fire for the better part of 2 weeks now. Actually, a week and a half. They decided that they have a Garmin Connect Plus now. Like, actually, if I open my app every morning, like, subscribe, try a free subscription. And they have some AI stuff. It's called Active Intelligence. Everybody's intelligence now, Active Intelligence. And if you want to compare like ride data, like over the course of different like years, like heart rate, and like you can do some stuff on their web, their Garmin Connect web, which that used to be available before they rebranded the Garmin Connect like a year, 2 years now, perhaps. I think the update came out, and now it's behind the paywall. And then obviously they have the Active Intelligence, which is supposed to tell you, oh, you worked out too hard today, take this much rest. I'm like,
Dude, Garmin tells me that anyways.
exactly.
Every time I finish a workout, it's like, you suck and you need to rest a lot.
Yeah.
So that's like all Garmin tells me.
84 hours.
Yeah.
Where is my go-to? 84 hours. Like, what? So I shouldn't ride my bike for 2 weeks, but 2 days into my rest, you're going to tell me I'm ready to.
Yeah.
I'm detraining.
Yeah. Maybe they figured it out.
So $6.99. It will cost you that much
a month?
But I think, yeah.
It's Casey's Pizza.
And I think the outrage is based on how expensive the Garmin devices are. Like if you look at the Epics or even their Instinct, they're $599 and above. So people who are okay, not willingly pay that much, $500, $600. The top end Epics, $1,100, and you're like, well, I pay once, I can have this device for 3-4 years, no subscriptions. Now you're paying for a premium watch and also paying for subscriptions.
Yeah.
So I think that's people are like, well, then step down the price if I'm going to have a subscription, right? So.
Well, I mean, I feel like for me, Garmin needs to prove when it comes to measuring fitness, recovery, like your overall trend. Like Garmin has yet to prove to me that they know what they're talking about. Like, I look at like Whoop, Aura Ring, like, some of these other, even like some of these beds that track your sleep, like they have a much better, more compelling case, at least from my dumb opinion, like than Garmin does, because like, if I have a Phoenix, I don't want to wear that thing to bed, because if I like roll over and whack my wife in the head, it's gonna bust her wide open. But and B, like, I just like, I don't trust what Garmin tells me when I do these workouts and things like that, because it constantly tells me that it's just not true. Like, I mean, I can be highly trained and it's still telling me I'm overreaching, or I can be not trained at all and it's going to tell me I'm overreaching and things like that. I don't necessarily see it.
No, I agree. I think so. So here's a weird, and this maybe so I say doing the Wahoo System X workouts, which have really helped me a lot. But I feel like Garmin would have its suggestions in the morning, which I wouldn't follow, but I would use their body battery, like, measurements and stuff, or training readiness. I felt like that was always off until I started using the Wahoo's training plans. And I feel like now Garmin actually gives me more reliable data because I'm training better somewhere else. But if I follow their workouts, it's just like all over the place, So it takes work.
I never understood the body battery thing. It's like you're like 65% charged and 95% decharged. I don't how does that work? How does that math work?
Yeah.
I never figured out the body battery. I never pay attention to that. I look at my sleep, and then I look at I like looking at my steps and stuff.
Yeah, I do use it for, like, I think if I'm under like a training plan, like on Wahoo, and I'm using them like through the winter and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I do see the benefits of using the Garmin. I feel like it keeps me in check.
I always thought that once your FTP got up to so high, it never went down again. But apparently, if you don't ride your bike a lot, it goes back down, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've been pretty happy with Wahoo, but yeah, I think Garmin wanting is subscription. I think people are worried also that any new feature they're gonna come up with is gonna be subscription, because we're quick to say, anything that you have now is not gonna change now, right? But anything future, you can be guaranteed it's gonna be behind a paywall.
I think all these companies are gonna $6 a month gouge you to death with the $6 a month. You're gonna have 25 subscriptions at $6 a month.
That's what you got Rocket Money for, so you can cancel all those.
You'll be
That's right. You steal them and
yeah. I'm not on board with this whole Garmin thing. I don't know. Like I like Wahoo more, and I think there are other programs. I saw, like Kartik mentioned, like Trainer Road. Like I would keep Trainer Road, not even use their workouts, but because it does like take all of your outdoor workouts, looks at all your data, and then gives you a AIFTP. I really like that, because like even if I'm not using it, I pay a little bit a month, and I don't have to ever do a ramp test again. And then I know exactly kind of where my training zones should be. So for me, like
that is good.
Yeah. And I don't have to buy, another device or anything like that, but they're trying at least. We'll see.
Yeah, no.
Just ride as hard as you can all the time until you fall over.
Exactly. Don't eat. Don't eat any food.
You used to do that?
Yeah.
You used to do that, didn't you?
Even on your computer or on your commute to work, just hard as you can. Fall over at work.
Yeah. Graham, you said something about the MTB podiums, right?
No, that was me.
Was that me?
That was that you, Jason?
I don't know anything about podiums, area. I've never seen a podium in my life.
Hey,
come on.
Don't worry, man. That makes two of us. Okay.
Come on.
That makes two of us.
Did you see what I was talking about? There's a.
Yeah, they're trying to conform to the UCI. Yeah, I saw that.
And they want to stay 5 places on the podium, and UCI wants 3. I like the 5.
Wide angle podium, I think, is the appropriate,
Yeah,
the vernacular, right? Wide angle.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, whatever. Like, I think that's a silly thing to argue over. Like, come on. Like, what's the point? What are the colors?
Yeah.
What are the colors? So you got gold, silver, bronze. What are the colors for fourth and fifth?
I don't know.
Frankincense and myrrh. I'm just kidding.
Titanium and carbon fiber. Titanium and aluminum.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
well,
Titanium and aluminum
Titanium
think-
and wood.
and
Maybe
wood.
steel. Maybe steel.
Steel
In
and
there.
wood.
You remember that company that was making those bikes out of wood?
There's a
Calfee.
Right, yeah,
They make them out of bamboo.
yeah,
well,
that's right.
so-
Yeah.
So there's a few people that do it. I've thought about doing it, and I might try this one. I really want to do this one day. There's a guy I follow, Gaston. I think he's European. Dude, he makes some nice bikes out of wood. And then there was a guy in Delaware. I rode with him in Delaware on a group ride. He was riding a wood road bike. Had like a great set of wheels on it, real like a top end bike. It's like, where'd you get that? He's like, I make them. I got his card somewhere. Ellery Cycles or something. Yeah, he's charging like $3,000 for a frame. Custom makes it for you. Puts whatever parts on it you want, and they're surprisingly. They don't weigh much more than an aluminum frame, or I mean, they're right in there weight wise.
I know so when I was at World of Bikes, got bored one day. It was like January, right? And I Googled bike shops in Iowa City because I was trying to figure out which one would come up first, like Sugar Bottom or World of Bikes or Jeff's. There is a dude that is registered some LLC or PC in Iowa City, and he is making wooden bikes. And
Really?
I called him. I called him from the shop phone. I was like, I got to figure out what's going on here. I called this guy up and it was like, hey, this is Joe. And I'm like, hey, Joe, it says you're making bikes. Like, what's going on? Look it up. I don't know if it's still there. Ask Egan, but because he was humiliated while I was making the call right next to him. But yeah, some guy in Iowa City's like started up a wood bike shop, but I didn't know his name. Never seen him at any of the events or anything like that. But
No kidding. Iowa City has some pretty interesting characters.
No doubt.
Regions, I was trying to find them, but I can't. Maybe went out of business. Maybe people.
Let me
just
look. I'm gonna find this thing. I'll look. You guys keep talking.
Zoran was wondering if he's Amish. Is he Amish?
Nah, he's Mennonite, if anything.
Oh, that's right. Because he got a cell phone.
Yeah. Come on. Let's see.
Well, I'm seeing.
I swear, he was over there, kind of towards like Goosetown area. It's kind of where this place was.
Huh, interesting.
I don't know. Let me do some research. I'll come back. Maybe I'll get them on for a
Let's talk about
discussion.
the RockShox reverb. Wooden
Oh
wheels.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
I've always said that if I was going to get a dropper post, it would be one of those.
The reverb's awesome. I mean, it's so like even the old model's cool. I do have a couple friends around here that have ripped their batteries off the back of their old version, like V1 reverbs when they were doing some downhill. When the pivot came up, and so the back tire ripped the battery off when it was dropped. So I think this solves a lot of those issues because it puts the battery in the front, which is kind of cool, like Aria's got there. And then it also gives you a lot more. I mean, it gives you more travel.
Yeah.
And now they're doing is it 25 millimeter increments, like all the way from 100 to 250?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There. Holy cow! Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like $100 cheaper than the last gen.
Cheaper and here's an underrated piece, and I may be wrong about this, but so like the Reverb Explorer, like the Explorer dropper post, if you drop it just a little bit, the gravel dropper post, it turns into a suspension seat post. And I'm pretty sure this new Reverb dropper has that same technology, which if you're riding like
That's nice.
if you're riding a hardtail or something along those lines, like that could be kind of nice.
All right, Uri, I got to know, how much does it weigh?
Let's see what the weight win is. Specs. All right, we got all the trouble. 712.
712.
How much is the old one? I think it's heavier, right?
That's under 2 pounds.
I bet you the all run is probably gonna be heavier, would be my guess. It looks beefy, you know. Oh, they're hiding the grounds. No pun intended. Let's see specs here. Let's see.
It's sold out anyways. I was looking at getting one the other day just for another bike.
The old one?
Yeah, the old one in a lot of sizes is pretty much sold out.
That's kind of, you don't see that every day where they make an improvement and make it cheaper, especially
I know,
for
right?
sure. You know,
And the cool thing for the tech nerds out there, it's much easier to service, and then they have also increased the diameter of like the rod that's in the middle there, so it has a little bit more durability to it as well. So less wiggly and less chance to blow it out, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So when you're pedaling and you look down, you see this little battery down there. Is that how it looks like? So the battery is in front of you.
Yeah, which looks a little weird actually. I'm not sold on the look. I'm not sold on the look, but
I was wondering about that, the like symmetric wise, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get 100 mil for my tributary, so I'll report back. Maybe I'll bring it in here and we can look at it and decide if it's stupid or not.
Yeah, because did your tributary come with like a cable drawn?
Yeah, it's like a cheap dropper. Salsa does that. It's like they make a cool bike and then they put like some stupid component on it. So I'm gonna put the reverb on there since I've got the rival shifters on the front. So
you'd be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see someone with that 250 millimeters of drop. I want to see that thing.
That's insane.
That's huge.
Jason,
so big.
Because Jason, you don't like droppers, right?
I don't have one.
You got one on the new bike, right?
It's coming on the new bike, so I'm gonna try it again. See how I feel. I'm old school. We didn't have droppers back in the 1900s.
I'm older though, and I don't even use my dropper so much for like riding. But man, every time I come up to like a spot on the trail where I want to stop, drop that thing down, and then you can go up, sit on the top tube. You can just put your feet down. It's kind of nice.
And you just sit right there. Yeah,
just sit right there. I do a lot of sitting when I ride.
Yvonne she put a drop on her priority when we were getting ready to do Lidl last year. And she's been liking being able to sit down, on the trail. You just stop, just drop it, and just sit on your seat. Take a break.
It's pretty good. I mean, for bike packing, Jason, I'm surprised you wouldn't like it for that reason. For like bike packing, if you're fully loaded down, I mean.
Well, my seat bag is.
You got a seat bag.
It's got one of those sausage rolls in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, to that point though. This new dropper will allow you to put like a seat bag, a saddle bag on there because now you don't have to worry about the battery. You can actually attach a saddle bag to your mountain bike. Now you may rip it off again when you drop it down, but listen, I'm just giving you the option.
Well, a lot of people are doing the tail fin thing, and they're also doing, seat bags that have like a clamp that goes off of the back of the seat and it really doesn't attach to the seat post itself.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of bags out there that will go for, work with dropper posts.
It's true.
See, if I do to a divide, I'm going to do the tail fin.
Yeah, that seems like
tail fin rack. That'll be the way to do it.
I was really considering the dropper. I want to do the Colorado Trail race. And I would want to maybe consider a seat post for that, a dropper post for that.
Zora is roasting Graham.
Yeah.
In the
What's he
comments.
what's this Zoran guy that I got to say?
It's killing. It's killing me, man. Somebody said that Graham puts. So Graham, how is the mountain biking with your kid? How is that going, by the way?
Oh man, it's the best. Like it's so fun. I got the kids ride shotgun. I'll bring my bike in next week. I'll show you guys how it's all set up. But I got a kids ride shotgun on I got a Fuelie X99, and then I got my Tributary, and I got the kids ride shotgun up set up on both of those. And she's got her little pedals. She's on my handlebars.
Yeah.
I can't rip it, but we've done a few jumps. And honestly, she's got it. And super fun. I mean, it's a way for me to go mountain biking and take her with me and give my wife a break and then still get out on the trails. So we do, I got a group of probably 6 or 7 people that we meet up most Sunday mornings, go ride. And it's like a casual ride. And then we go get brunch after that. But I take her with me on that, and she has fun. She always asks me to go faster. I tell her no, because I'm slow. But I will say the extra 25 pounds, you feel that going up the hills.
Workout.
It's a workout. It's a workout, but it's pretty cool.
And then half feet locked into the bottom thing. Yeah, I guess we could take a look at the bike next week.
Yeah, she's got platform pedals with little rubber straps, so she slips her feet up under there. But I haven't sat on it. But she seems it feels really natural to her. She'll stand up even sometimes.
Wow.
I've been trying to teach her, when we go downhill.
Yeah.
Okay, time to stand up, because we always stand when we go downhill, and we use our dropper post. Jason, crazy piece of technology. You'll learn about it.
He doesn't know what that is, Graham.
You don't know what that is, but my daughter does. My 2.5-year-old daughter understands a dropper, but
you got a little bar tape on the handlebars for her to hold on.
I got her some hand up gloves, so she's got some itty bitty gloves, and she's got her jersey, and I've got a full face helmet for her. So, we're pretty decked out. I think it'll last her for another year or two, and then I'll probably be chasing her around the trails. So
Jacob and Cassie did Burke that way too years ago.
It's I mean, it's so cool. I mean, between that and the Strider bike, training wheels, she won't even know what training wheels are. She'll never know. She's already asking for pedals on her bike, because we'll ride around in the backyard here. I'll ride my bike and she'll ride hers, and she's annoyed that she doesn't have pedals. So it's only a matter of time. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll show it to you guys next week if you remind me.
Yeah, I want to see, because you think your dropper will be in by then?
I don't know. I haven't pulled the trigger on it. If I order it on Monday, I guess it would be. If I order it tomorrow, but I got to sneak it by my wife,
Yeah, you got. They're called the accountants. That's what they call.
The controller. She's the financial controller.
Yeah. You need from the
CFO.
CFO before I kind of like this new reverb. It's just that I don't know if I like how it's.
It looks a little weird. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. But
that's gonna take a little bit of getting used to.
I'll get it and I'll let you guys know.
What was that? What didn't you like about it, Aria?
It's just the thing faces in the front, right? Grammy said it will be on.
Top. I mean, if you look, well, this is a family friendly show, right? So I don't want to get too much into it, but it's got a weird look to it when the seat post is down. I'll just put it that way.
That's right.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, I just don't know about that access battery just out there. You know what I mean?
Where would you much rather have it? In the back?
I mean, I like the looks of the old version, but the benefits that you get out of the new version, I think are you got to kind of balance the two, but everything looked weird at first. So.
I think it's a good, nice protected spot for it. I mean,
yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess you can rip the battery off.
It's natural.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, guys.
Maybe we
think
cut
we
it
should
there.
close it out, right?
Yeah, right.
We've been going now in 20 minutes. Guys, there's 12 people still watching. So that's amazing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. The people have been coming and going, so that's nice. People have been staying on here.
Had to ban a few people, I think. You know, some trolls in the comments, but we'll figure that out.
They've been getting you like trolled big time.
I told you it was going to happen.
You got to buy Zoran some beers because I think there's some unfinished business.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe some ice cream.
So we've got. Do you want to tease people for?
Go for it, Jason. Go for it. Yeah.
When we're doing it on 420.
Right. Is that what it is? Yeah, that's right. 420.
420.
It's not legal in Iowa yet.
But Hannah Shell, she's a lifetime pro cyclist. Going to come on and talk to us. That's going to be awesome, really.
Right?
She's tough stuff.
Somebody has faster than all three of us combined.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, Aria can hang with her for a mile.
For a mile. Aria's got her for
you know what? You guys are never going to let me forget that. Hey, I want to blame whatever I was drinking here, guys.
We are going to get the two of you together, and you're going to see if you can hang with her for a mile, and you're going to video that.
Man, she would drop me. You know, I think I'll be dropped even by the non-Grand Prix riders. She's too good, man. Especially a Crete racer, former Crete. You know, their engine is crazy, so I'm stoked.
Wouldn't that be a good video, though? The three of us riding along with her and see who lasts on her wheel the longest.
It'd be like a 45-second video.
Yeah,
it'd be like a YouTube short.
Yeah,
like a YouTube short.
Instagram friendly, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'd be
I'll be out. Like I'll probably do my best 1 minute, maybe again. Then I'll be out. All right, they'll be.
You'll be overheated and shutting down.
Oh yes, this is perfect. Awesome. All right.
That's the key to cut it off, guys. That's the key.
Oh, that was a good ending there.
That was perfect. The camera, it lasted. It lasted. So, hey, guys, thanks for watching. Everybody that's watching. We'll be back next week. We have, like Jason said, an amazing guest. And Grams also has a guest that will be coming, hopefully one of these days. So that'll be super cool. Awesome. All right. Until next time. Ciao. Thanks, YouTube.